Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Music of the Week. This is from all the stuff that happened last Friday, not the Friday yesterday, the Friday before that Friday. Before I start, I want to say thank you to everyone who tuned into my random stuff gaming stream last night. I almost beat that level on Super Hot 2. I almost got it. I failed because incompetence basically, but I came damn close. The closest I've ever gotten, and I'm glad I was able to stream that. So, yeah, got about 5 albums for this, so let's just go over them one by one and see where we end up. Good. We do start with a bit of a downer though, not in terms of the album's quality, but in terms of like the circumstances surrounding it. DMX with his first posthumous album, maybe the first of a few, Exodus. So yeah, the dude died only a couple of months ago, if I remember correctly. And full disclosure, I've never fully even listened to a full DMX song, not even some of his more popular ones, but I know of his rapping style. I know he's always had that, like, sort of dark, sort of grits to his voice, I guess you could say. The dude feels more like a background album because there's a lot of guest stars on this one, but I'm still giving this album a B. I'm not going to lie and say it's the best thing ever just because he's passed away. But it is sad that he went away the way he did. I mean, it's still a good album with a lot going for it. I'm just not going to give it like a super high grade because of him dying. I know that sounds a bit harsh, but yeah, I'm not going to give it like an A plus or anything just because he's passed away. But I think the album has really good beats to it. Again, the dude feels a bit like a background element because he mostly does choruses, it seems like. There's a lot of guest stars on this album, and they all do really well. Some of them are old friends of his, also from Def Jam, which is really, really cool. It's got some really like poignant lyrics. It's put together really, really well for what it is. It's good, you know. And I don't know if this will be the first of many posthumous albums. I'm just assuming that. I wouldn't be surprised if it was, because this was his first in about 9 years. So yeah, who knows? And obviously, there's the whole thing with like his a family member of his, and yeah, that could be a bit messy. So yeah, I don't know when there'll be another DMX album, or even if there will be one. But sort of a part of me sort of hopes there isn't. Part of me hopes that this is the last we hear of him, and without context, that would sound really cruel, but I sort of want this to be the last thing he does because I think continuing to churn out music without him really being alive to witness it is sort of more disrespectful to him in a way. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Next up, we cover another album that's a downer, but for a different reason. Lost Division with their debut album Cuts and Scars. Lost Division are a female-fronted, yes, rock band, yes, from Sweden, yes. This album, no, I'm giving it a C-. I mean, maybe it's just because I've heard a lot of middling, and I mean super middling, like female-led rock bands with boring-ass tempos, but there's nothing really super great about this album that stood out to me. The band seem a bit invested. The lead singer, I forget her name right off the top of my head. She does a good enough job, but it's not produced well. It just feels like one super long song, and I don't even think this album is that long on its own, you know? There was just so much more that should have been done with it, and it's a debut, I get that. I do grant them the benefit of the doubt, but god, it's just really repetitive riffs, really like boring platitude lyrics, and I wasn't in on this. I wanted to be more in on it, but I just wasn't, and I wanted the band to go in more, and they just didn't. So I didn't get a lot out of this one. I think the only reason I'm not giving it anything in the D range is because it's a debut, but that can only like stretch so long, and it doesn't work for all bands. So yeah, I would recommend skirting around this one. But on the bright side, this is the lowest grade I give to an album on this episode, so there you go. Next up, we have one I was quite looking forward to when it was first announced, Our Hollow, Our Home, with their third album, Burn in the Flood. I remember liking their second album, In Moment in Memory, which came out back in 2018. I like this one a hell of a lot more. I'm giving it an A. These are just some really good old boys from Southampton in England. Go respect the British and all that. This is just really good metalcore. I mean, yeah, it was just something I had a lot of fun glossing over. I've listened to it a few times. I think Blood is one of the best metalcore sort of ballady leading songs I've ever heard. And yeah, there's really not many scraps to found in it. It's just a really, really nicely put together album, really good riffs, amazing solo work, which I wasn't expecting from a band like this. Really great performances as well, produced quite nicely, just a really fucking good album. So yeah, I'm giving it an A, and you should absolutely listen to it. It's really good. You know, one place I don't really get to go to a lot is Columbus, Ohio, and that's where this next one comes in. Palette Knife with Ponderosa Snake House and the Chamber of Bullshit. What a title. This is another debut. These are a sort of small indie punk emo sort of group. Only three people in it, and I'm giving this album an A minus. This is a good debut, Lost Division. Take note. So, yeah, obviously it's a style I like. It leans more into that sort of mathcore-ish style that was really prevalent last year with bands like Hot Mulligan and Dogleg, you know, sort of that style. And yeah, this album could have easily come out back then. I would still love it just as much. I really had a lot of fun with this. Very tongue-in-cheek, presented quite... Really good presentation on this album. Like, it's put together quite well, and it's done in a really fun way. It can feel a little bit immature at times, but it does it with a good sense of fun, and it knows... It's got a good sense of its tone, at least. You know, it's not trying to take itself too seriously, but it's not always like just this wacky punk sort of thing, you know, which is rare for a debut like this because a lot of bands can go off the rails with it. But yeah, I think this is really good stuff for them, and I really hope there's another album soon because I'm hungry for more of this, and I really want to see what they're able to do next. So, Palette Knife, you get my approval. I know you probably didn't need it, but you've got it. And next up we have not a debut, but a band putting out an album for the first time in about 6 years. This is T-Tops, with their new album Staring at a Static Screen. These boys are from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I believe. This is their first album in 6 blooming years. They're sort of a noise punk hardcore act. This is just solid stuff, though. I'm giving it a B+. I really liked a lot of it. I am detracting points because some of the songs are a bit too short. In fact, not a single song on this album breaches past or even near 3 minutes, by the way. It's just full of like really short punk bangers, though. It's got really good production on it. It's just got that right amount of scuzz where it's not too disgusting, but it's like it can be a little bit, you know? That probably means fuck all to you, but yeah. I got what they were putting down, though, and I really like this one quite a lot. I've liked a lot of the punk that's come out in 2021, to be honest. I mean, I am a punk boy. I like punk music, but yeah, especially this year, I've been quite biased towards it. So, this was really fun. Short, really, really sour, but in a really, really good way, because I like sour sweets, so that works for me. Lyrics are, again, sort of a bit of a tongue-in-cheek nature. Really solid riffs and just a really sort of like murky, sludgy approach to the music that I really enjoyed because you don't get that a lot in punk. I'm almost tempted to call it sludge punk, but I don't think it fully fits into that. But as it is, this album is a B+, and this album is really good, and I think it's a pretty solid way to round off the last few albums I heard for me. So that will about do it for another episode of Music of the Week. I will see you presumably tomorrow for a Fight of the Night review, if there is a Fight of the Night to talk about, and then I'll see you soon after that for the for the Detroit Very Brief History, and then the full actual backtracking episode. I've only got one more album to do. And then after that, obviously there will be a stream on Tuesday as well. The Go Home show for Resolutions Permanent, which will be next Friday. That's going to be good. And, and also on Wednesday, probably another Ultimate Fighter episode review. So, yeah, I will see you all for that, as and when it comes. And as always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye-bye.